Our next guest is here to talk about the global promise of blockchain. He is the former White House advisor on innovation to President Bill Clinton, the co-founder and CEO of Oh, I Get It Fake News Filter. Please welcome to the FinWise stage, Mr. Franklin Urtiaga.
Dajai Hao, Macau. It's a great honor to be here. I want to first say hello to all the honored guests here, all the entrepreneurs that are involved with blockchain, and the special committee that invited me, Mr. Gu. I don't know where he went. Where's Mr. Gu? Mr. Gu? Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Gu. He's a great supporter, pioneer in blockchain, please. Mr. Hao. Mr. Hao was gracious enough to invite me, so I'm happy to be here. Mr. Hao, please. So my name is Franklin Urtiaga, and I will speak to you today about the global promise of blockchain. And I'd like to start by sharing my story about how I got involved with innovation, technology, the internet. The internet, as many of you know, is the foundation for blockchain. Without the internet, you can't really do too much, as we all know. Let's see if this works. That's technology. It's imperfect. So, I'll tell you a little bit about my background. Maybe they can fix this picture. I worked for President Bill Clinton at the White House, and I was a policy advisor. So what does that mean when you work at the White House? That means that you are given the job of helping to determine programs for the country. At the time, we were bringing out something that was called, something similar to blockchain. We were bringing out the internet. This was many years ago under the office of President Clinton. And as we talk today about the promise of blockchain, you have to think about many years ago when the country, America, wasn't ready for the internet. Just like many countries are not ready for blockchain, there are many countries that are still experimenting. We all know, all of us here know, how important blockchain is. We all believe in blockchain. Every single one of you know how important blockchain is. But I make comparisons about the internet because many years ago, the internet was considered similar to blockchain. They said at the White House when we were pushing the internet out, they said the internet is dangerous. The internet is unstable. The internet is bad. The internet it'll come and go. It is not anything serious to consider. Does that sound familiar to the blockchain community? Time magazine one of the greatest American publications, The Strange New World of the Internet. They didn't understand it. They didn't understand the importance of how massively revolutionary the internet was going to be. A couple months later, they published this one, The Death of Privacy. The internet was going to eliminate your privacy. The internet was dangerous, unstable, unpredictable. You couldn't find applications. When the internet first started, you could not find practical applications for that technology. Does that sound familiar? So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I served 5 years at the White House with President Clinton. During my 5 years, I helped to write a lot of national programs to help the public in America embrace the internet. It was very difficult. The American public did not want to accept the internet that easily. They didn't know how to apply it. They didn't know how to describe it. But as an advisor, our job was to make sure that we got it out. We distributed it into America. And then, of course, the rest of the world captured the internet. So, the internet's old news. Everybody has one of these. Everyone here, I guarantee you. This is how we access the internet now. So now that that's well established, the second or third phase of internet evolution is blockchain technology. As I've said many, many times, I've come to China, in the southern parts of China, northern parts, east and west. I've been to China 14 times last year. I was invited to come to China and speak on innovation. 14 times. And I've been to 5, maybe 6 national conferences on blockchain. And I'll share my same philosophy. The blockchain is here to stay. Blockchain is here to stay. This is the second wave of a new economy. Now let's take a look at what we're doing in America. If you look at this map, the dark blue and the light blue, most of America has embraced blockchain. Those states are passing legislation, they're passing laws to establish the industry. So it's coming. If anyone tells you blockchain is too misunderstood, if blockchain is unsafe, blockchain is not stable, there are no practical applications for blockchain, you know what to do. Don't listen. Always remember my story about how they used to criticize the internet, how they used to doubt the global promise of the internet. That sounds absurd now, doesn't it? Doesn't it sound absurd? But now we're talking about the global promise of blockchain, and that's what you're going to hear today at the conference. All these experts discussing all the promising ways of how blockchain can improve global economies in Macau, in Singapore, in Germany, in Australia, UAE, everywhere around Asia, Europe. In America, we're quietly advancing laws to establish the infrastructure for blockchain technologies. It's here to stay. If you're fintech executives, fintech entrepreneurs, there's a lot of promising opportunities in business. The major banks in America are acquiring fintech companies left and right. Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, all the major banks are acquiring fintech startups. If you look worldwide, blockchain is being tested in all the various governments all over the world. So even though in the papers you read about blockchain not being totally understood and blockchain not being totally implemented because there's a lot of testing going on, that's just part of the process. That's part of the process of it becoming a global system. But in order for it to be successful, we have to have entrepreneurs like yourselves, executives in fintech, venture capitalists, angel investors, pushing the envelope, being the early adopters, the early individuals that embrace that philosophy despite having very little support. I've built this company. This is my third company. It's a fake news filter, and we use blockchain technology on the back end to establish a fact database. And we use the immutable features of the ledger technology from the blockchain. And so we're doing our part to help with fake news all around the world. It's my third company. Aside from being a White House advisor, I'm an entrepreneur, just like many of you here. I built two companies in America, global companies. The first one was online dating. We helped to create J-Date, Christian Mingle, American Singles, became the second largest online dating company in the world. Nobody believed in online dating when we first started it. Just like they don't believe in blockchain so much. So anyway, this is our company. We're doing our part in helping to expand the understanding of applications for blockchain. We take 1 million news sources, run it through a blockchain fact database, and we produce a fake news filter. The world's first on your mobile phone. Oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. It's on Google Play and in the App Store. So try it out. Let me know what you think. Oh, I get it. Now, the promise of blockchain, right? The global promise. What is the answer? What is the answer? All the experts are going to be discussing in today's event all the different variations of opportunities and applications and technologies. But at the end of the day, all of you are the fuel to grow blockchain. Because we have to reduce the cost, we have to increase the scalability of blockchain, and most importantly, we have to find practical applications to create examples of how blockchain works and how it can improve society. But that will only come from all of you, every single one of you that's here. So we have to have more events, like the DNA and the FinWise group. And that's why I was happy to applaud these gentlemen. They're the leaders. They're a group of leaders, Mr. Howe and Mr. Gu. In 1990, 1% In 1990, 1% of the world was on the internet. 1%. Today, half of the world is using the internet. Today, 1% use blockchain. Think about that. 1%. But blockchain is going to move faster than the internet. So it's up to you, all of you, okay? Let's have a round of applause. Let's clap for blockchain. May the global promise of blockchain occur, okay? Thank you very much.